Wagwan, mi familias, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's a social production. That's right, we're doing it on March the 6th, 2026. Thank you for joining us. 6-6. What are we doing here? It's Friday, that's right. Shout out to you if you're tuning in from Canada. If you're tuning in from the United States of the Americas, beautiful, all the states, 50 states. Further down south, Mexico, South America, over there, in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, of course, the Koreas, Vietnam, over there in Cairo, over there in Israel, over there in the Middle East, Wagwan, all around the world. Thank you for joining me once again. Let's get a sip of this shit right here. And welcome back. Let's get a sip. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, shoddy. Right there, doing it again. Let's get right into it. Lots of stuff happening in and around the world. Of course, the major global news. This one's great. Because I hope we see more of it. More. What am I even talking about? Let's just get right into it. Diddy just slipped out, or is he slipping out? It is that time. Diddy's getting an early release. Yes. I'm excited. I'm excited because now we get to at least see it through his perspective. We get to see it through his perspective. Now he gets to sit down and maybe make maybe he'll make his own documentary in response to 50's documentary. Maybe he'll rap about it. Maybe we'll actually get some new songs, some good new songs, from his perspective. And it's important. Maybe he needs to sit down and explain himself. It's easy to read into things. Why would somebody need thousands and thousands of bottles of lube? Now we'll get to hear it. Hashtag fucking yes. Honestly, I'm not even sure what happened. I'm not even sure. I don't even think at the end of the day, again, if it wasn't for him beating Cassie, that's pretty much the only thing that I saw that did not sit well with me. The rest of it, so hashtag, I guess, free Diddy. He was the fall guy, wasn't he? He kind of was the fall guy. In retrospect, I don't know. I'm still, beating women, not cool. What's considered quote unquote trafficking, if you're getting prostitutes or paying the bitches to fly over state line, that's considered traffic. I think this is, I think some laws probably need to be, we need to go back and look at a few things. Maybe need to, it doesn't make sense. Some things don't make sense in terms of if you pay somebody to go over the border and then you end up having sex with them, that's considered trafficking a prostitute. So if you pay for your girlfriend or your boyfriend to travel with you and then you have sex with them in another state, is that considered trafficking? I'm not quite sure. If it is, then I suppose a lot of people should be locked up. But nonetheless, for the beating, it doesn't sit well with anybody. So and then he'll get to explain. At least he'll get to explain the bottles. And in his defense, the bottles of lube, the massive amounts, the copious amounts of lube, it is better to be prepared. You know what? It's one of those things. And I suppose today's underlying, I'm not even sure where we're going to go today, but one of the themes, one of the underlying themes for today is probably better PR. Everybody out there needs better PR. Whether you're a person, whether you're a company, whether you're just a product, I think it's just about better advertising. I think he needed better advertising because imagine you're hosting all these orgies. You're hosting a ton of orgies. You're rubbing elbows. You're rubbing tits with the upper echelon parts of society. You got the elites. You got the celebrities. Probably a few diplomats here and there, politicians. Who knows? He was knee deep in it. He was knee deep in it. Another version of Epstein, you could say, but probably not. Not as. I don't know. Samesies. Not quite the same, but in the same, you could say, if you were to draw a Venn diagram, they'd probably, some aspects of both individuals would probably be touching. Their cocks would probably be touching the middle of the Venn diagram. But nonetheless, at least again, it is better to have a lot of lube and not need it and need it and not have it. That's the type of orgies where you go and there's no lube. I wouldn't know, of course, but I'm just imagining you show up there and there's a ton of people. Not everybody is as moist as you'd like them to be, and the friction, you want to avoid friction, and that's how you tackle that. All right, so there's to Sean Diddy Combs out there that you needed to just spin that better. You should have just come out and said, would you like people to be, getting rubbed up on top of one another and causing a lot of friction, giving each other Indian burns, which is no fun and who enjoys Indian burns? No one. And he would have had a lot of that, and a lot of more complaints would have come out of that. Next thing you know, he'd be caught, and then it'd be like, oh, look at this orgy throwing son of a bitch with no lube. And you can't please them all, can you? So hashtag, I guess, Diddy's free. And again, wife beating or beating up the bitches, not cool. Other stuff, I don't really see much in there, unless, again, I guess we don't know. When they got to his house, when the FBI raided his house, what was on the laptops, what was in his possession, what was on the hard drives. Who knows what these people do? It's all amazing. I'd like to see him come back. Sit down and explain yourself to Fiddy when he because that's maybe again, sing a song about it. When I wanted to take you shopping, I didn't mean to make it sound gay. I just wanted to make you look good like a homie would. Just whatever, give me another chance, I'll take you shopping, no homo. But with a bet, obviously you do the rhyming. I'm not the guy behind it. I'm not a rapper. But I give you the theme though. It was supposed to be just a couple of dogs shopping, bags in hand, rolling iced out chains and the bitches on the side, no homo, just regular shopping. Regular shopping. Right there. You should have, again, better, you need to explain yourself. Or you don't. Millionaire, billionaire, doesn't need to explain himself. The important thing is hashtag freedom and better advertising campaigns for everybody. That's what I'm realizing. So and again, trust me, people would have complained if there was no, the celebrities coming in and out of those orgies with fucking burnt up vagines and cocks that are just like, it's like somebody took a sandpaper to your cock, because guess what? You were writing 10 bitches with no lube, and you would have been, did you hear about how dry Diddy's orgies were? Nobody wants to hear that. So at least, he was looking ahead. Maybe he over-prepared. Sometimes you over-prepare. But again, better to have the lube, not needed, than needed and not have it. So hashtag slippery times. Given everything that's going on, for me, globally speaking, in terms of tensions in the Middle East, conflict, are we gonna get? I don't want to pay more for things. That's one of the things that concern. I don't want to pay. I'm just concerned a little bit, because you hear about is the Strait of Hormuz gonna turn gay all of a sudden, and just as gas prices gonna go up. I've not paid attention. It's just been a few days. But I just want to nip it in the bud. Whatever you guys do, I don't want to see more increase of prices on anything. Everything has gotten expensive, so I just don't want to see that. I just want to nip it in the bud. Groceries is expensive, Gas, I don't want it to go up. Because if it does, then I'm going to have to find ways of making myself look like a big spender when I'm pumping it. So I've been thinking about this over the past few days. I'm like, how do I pump gas now and come off as a big spender? Because it is, if you're going to be, what is it, 20% of the world's gas and oils passes through this one Strait of Hormuz. Why don't we just go around? Why don't we just go around it? As if you got to distribute the gas and the oil, what is this little strait of, and how do we even know it's straight? Who's been monitoring the strait? Do we even know who he or she is? Is it a female or a male? We're just assuming it's a heterosexual fella that's Strait of Hormuz. Who's he in a relationship with? All right. Did he just turn gay over? Who knows? But that's questions to be asked. What does he give it? Oh, we're gonna keep that straight open though. Keep that straight. Keep it. Hashtag keep the straight. All right. Hashtag keep it open. And let's open it up a little bit more. Why is it so tight anyway? I've looked at it on the map. This is just a little piece it's too tight. Open it up. Open it up is 20%. That's 1/5 of the world's population, or rather population of gas and fluids, of gas and oil. So to keep it open, use some of the oil to make way. Just, get some of the Diddy oil in there, open it up, get in there, expand it, make it a little bit wider. So just a little concerned about that. But yeah, because I do it, if I go to the gas station now, I'm just gonna, do I grip the pump regular? Nowadays, I just go in, because you got the clip underneath the nozzle. You grab the nozzle, you put it in the, in the gas chamber for your car, you fill it up, and then you leave it. I clip it underneath the nozzle. There's a little clip, and then you can just step away. It's hands-free pumping, but that doesn't look like a big spender that I want it, because if I'm going to be paying more, I'd like to, so now I think I'm going to hold on to it moving. If I see, if the prices go up, which I'm not looking forward to, but if they do, Gonna have to fucking, really make eye contact with people and grip it. Just, grab that nozzle because, I want to be like, yes, I'm squirting out this expensive gas in my car. If that's the case, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does, do I grip it with two hands? Because now it's like, and again, it's a power move. If you're going to be getting gas, if it goes up, it's a power move to be pumping that gas. Because things are expensive. You want to grip it with two hands. I thought about this. Maybe if I grip it with two hands, that ladies, fucking check this out. Gripping the nozzle with two hands right there. Just squeezing every little droplet of gas into my car and just, taking it out. I'm like, maybe, should I be smacking my car with my, gas nozzle? Just to, just when you finish, should I smack it like you'd smack cock on the back of the, you just pulled out, you just came in her ass, take it and you smack it on her ass. Same thing, take the nozzle, smack the car a little bit. Just because again, it's expensive. If it's going to be expensive, you're going to have to, get more bang for your buck. I'm just saying, if I'm going to be a big spender now, I want to note to self, smack your car with the nozzle. Make yourself look like a big spender. Check this out. Just hit the back of the car a little bit, Throw it a little bit, go around a little bit, splash a couple of, droplets on the windshield. Just, a little bit of the old... Give a facial to your car because it's expensive. If it's going to be expensive, I'm not, maybe I'm jumping ahead, maybe it won't be, but I'm just preparing myself should the prices, because they already are expensive. Nonetheless, they already are expensive. But if it does go up, just want to make sure I get my, money's worth. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. It's good to, because you hear things. You're like, oh, the stock market took a dip. I'm not in the stock market, but you hear these things. They might have impacts, little or large. Nonetheless, you're like, oh, no, the stock market dipped. The stock market might go down. Never cared about the stock market personally. Doesn't mean it because I'm not that fella. I'm not invested in the stock market. These are things that when the stock market does good or bad doesn't impact me. I'm not in the market. But you do hear these things, you're like, fuck, what if it does have, larger consequences? You don't know. So I'm just preparing. If I need to look like a big spender, preparing myself. Animals have been acting weird all around the world. I don't know if it's just coincidence or if it just happenstance or what it is or what I'm supposed to make of it, but animals have apparently been acting a little, weird. Locusts have been, just dropping in swarms in the middle of the Sahara. Just, there's a car going through, you see an image of locusts and you're like, fuck, locust. Again, you hear these terms, you're like animals in the Bible and the times that you're like, oh, when God was like, check this out, I need your attention. Locusts. Could it be God communicating with us through animals? Is that, not, use your imagination, just like, pay attention, locusts. And everyone's just like, oh, get away. Get away, grasshopper. You catch a little grasshopper in your mouth, you're annoyed. You're like, what the fuck is this? God's like, come on, remember biblical times. Remember locusts. And like, these insects have got to go. Fuck. But that's locusts. You could eat them. I'm not going to eat them. But if you do get hit in the face with locusts, you could, if it winds up on your windshield, just grab a pan, fry it, eat it. Dip it in hot sauce, eat it. You could, gift it to a lover as an aphrodisiac. Say it's an aphrodisiac. People love it whenever you say a thing is an aphrodisiac. It could be the grossest thing, but if you say it's an aphrodisiac, now again, talk about good PR. That's where aphrodisiac gets it. That's where big aphrodisiac gets it. Put aphrodisiac in front of or behind any product, person, place, or thing. All of a sudden, might be disgusting, but now it's an aphrodisiac. Oh, check out this Lacoste's or locusts. It's an aphrodisiac. Makes me get a boner. Are you sure it's not the vag that makes you get a boner and it's the aphrodisiac, the locusts? But nonetheless, deal with the animals accordingly. It's weird times. It's not just the locusts in the Sahara. There's been giant sea serpents have been washing up on the beach of the Cabo Beach. And I forgot to look where Cabo Beach is, but nonetheless, somewhere. It's a giant sea serpent. It's basically a snake, but in the water, but it's like a fish snake. It's like a serpent. It's like a giant, half fish, half snake. It's a gross looking thing. It's large, it's slimy. It slithered all the way on the beach and it was, I don't know what it was planning on doing. But, people were looking at it. People were recording it. And then some of the females decided to take it upon themselves and, go and assist and help, and they, grabbed the sea serpent, the giant sea serpent. I think they pushed him or her back into the water, which just reminds me again. I'm, given the times, everything, ladies, to my bitches out there, maybe, maybe take a few seconds before you go there assisting another snake. I'm just, with the bitches and the snakes and we've already didn't fare well the first time. Again, not gonna say anyone's at fault or anything, but I'm just saying when you see a serpent, let it be, whether it's from the sea or the the dry land. And that just makes me, I'm thinking to myself, if I see a sea serpent, there's no way I'm helping it. I don't care. And I love animals, but some animals way more than others. I love, dogs, love cats, love a lot of animals. Snakes, whether dry or wet, not on the, it's it's very low on the list of animals that I love or care about. But I suppose they're there for a reason. I wouldn't even help a dry snake, a land snake. I wouldn't even, if a snake comes fucking, stuck in a tree and it's like, fucking let me out, dude. Let me fucking, I'm stuck. Lift this branch. And I'm just like, use your hands, dog. I'm sorry, I can't. But that's a dry snake. That's a dry snake. And it's still, it still looks slimy. So you tell me I see a serpent in the water. It's wet. It's extra slimy. You want me to help an extra slimy snake? I don't think so. Again, ladies, this is your, it's the innate motherly nature of the female species, which we love and adore. But you see a serpent, let it be. Let it be. Why did it come out? It knows where the water is starting and it ends. Don't come on the land. You can't breathe. You can't breathe on land. Get back in water by yourself. Again, I would not even help a dry snake. So to the ladies, certain animals, just, give it a few seconds. See if a fella gets involved first. Don't be, you don't always need to be the hero. That's one of life's lessons. You don't always need to be a hero. Just give the snake, the disgusting, slimy, wet snake, his or her space. It's, in the grand scheme of things, if it wasn't meant for the snake to land on shore and die from dehydration, it wouldn't have landed on shore. Maybe now maybe they were fucking, attacking little tiny fish in the ocean, and then now you just sent them back, and now they're gonna be, finding fucking Nemos out there, getting, probably chased by this giant sea serpent. So are you helping or are you hindering? That's, again, when it comes to snakes, maybe just take a couple of seconds, step back, and do your thing after, but give it a few seconds. Let's get a sip of this shit right here. It's March the 6th. It's Friday, motherfuckers. I saw this, I heard about this, I read about it a little bit. It's Louisiana mayor. I'm not sure if she's still the mayor or if she departed from her position. Misty Roberts, 43-year-old female, threw a party. I'm not sure if it was for her children or, if it was just a party and the kids were maybe at the party as well. A portion of the party was, had a pool involved in the party. So it was like I'm not sure if it was just a pool party or a house party that had a pool. That there was a pool. There was a pool. They were having a party. Let's just say that it was a pool party. And again, she had her kids and her friends, and her kids' friends were over. And I think she's being charged or she's being interrogated. I'm not quite sure how far down the road they've gone with this case, but allegedly she touched a 16-year-old boy. They said she raped the 16-year-old boy, and I'm like, God. 16-year-old boy got raped by a 43-year-old hottie. That is, and this is, I guess, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes, again, hear me out here. I'm not saying this is right, but I'm also here to say it's not quite, it's not wrong. And let's, before we skip and just say it's rape, let's, 43-year-old female maybe had a few drinks with the 16-year-old boy. They end up fucking, and the kids find out, and that's, I'd assume if you're the children, you're not happy that one of your buds just fucked your mom, or the female fucked the teenager. You're not happy about that, but to call it rape, it's not ideal. I'm not going to be standing here and telling you it's ideal, but also it's a 43-year-old woman with a 16-year-old boy. I'm just thinking to myself, when I was 16, when I was 15, 14, 15, 16, if a 43-year-old woman gave me booze and fucked me, I would be, have times changed that much? Because like I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking about, my friends, schoolmates, acquaintances given the same age range, and I don't believe many boys would be complaining. Not that, again, it's not ideal, it definitely should have, but again, to put that rape, because I think, if it was reversed, again, I believe this is a case for double standards. You really sometimes do need double standards. Because again, if it was a 43-year-old male having sex with a 16-year-old female, definitely wrong. Put him in jail for life, neuter him, give him, just, pour acid on his cock, or just like, whatever we got to do to make the cycle end. But that is, it makes sense. It makes sense. But 16-year-old boy with a 43-year-old female, that is, congratulations. Like that's, unless it was super, because again, when you say rape, it just makes me go to like, was it like rough sex? How, did she, put it up his ass? What happened? Because like that's, if she just rode him, for a few minutes, and 16-year-old probably came extremely quick. I'm not, I'm just, again, going back to myself, maybe I don't know how long this kid's gonna, and I don't want to know. I don't even want to, but I'm just saying 16-year-old boy with 43-year-old, and again, I'm not condoning, I'm not saying this is an ideal sitch, but, and if there were to be, a double standard, maybe there should be, maybe, again, not ideal, but I don't think this is going to be something, again, I wasn't there, of course, I don't know this kid's constitution, how it all went down, don't want to know, but nonetheless, I'm just saying, it's not the end of the, it's actually quite, it could be actually, like, it depends how you look at it. Again, better advertising, female to male, females coming on to males, that actually needs better advertising. You can't be lumped up with the males. Males, I get it. No 43-year-old male should be involved with a 16-year-old girl. But a 43-year-old woman, should she decide to bless this young man into his, not the early, it's not, I'm just saying, food for thought. Leave a comment if you think this is, so hashtag, I guess, let's just, today's about, representing people that need representation and getting better PR and advertising for people. So takeaway is hashtag freed Misty Roberts from Louisiana. Let's get her job back. That's a public outreach program. More mayors should be this involved. God, where were these mayors when I was a kid? Where were any of these hot teachers who were allegedly molesting young boys? I would, that would have been nice, but nonetheless, I'm just saying, and that would, again, my perspective. Yours may differ, of course. Leave a comment if you feel anything about it. If you don't, leave a comment regardless. And it's just interesting times. I believe I heard about this, I've read about this, I'm not quite sure how real it is or how, how widespread it is, but we do need to just, again, you need to nip it in the bud if it's an issue. If it's not an issue, we need to nonetheless be aware of it. I heard about the Gen Z are apparently, familiarizing themselves with TCM, and I'm like, what the fuck is TCM, dog? Enough of these acronyms, I said to myself, then I read about it. Apparently it stands for traditional Chinese medicine. Apparently Gen Z is experimenting, and not the fun way either. Not the fun way, the youth of the, a few decades ago used to experiment. These guys are fucking going out there doing Tai Chi, doing Tai Chi, drinking chai tea, and doing fucking, Chinese Lamaze classes, doing that, pull up, push up, body weight exercise, Bruce Lee shit. They're melting into water. They're becoming fluid. Who knows? They're experimenting. Nothing to be worried about. It's just Chinese medicine, traditional. I'm a little bit, and I'm just thinking, is it innocent TCM, as they like, is it that innocent TCM, or ladies and is this something way more sinister, a backdoor gateway to communism? Is it that? Is it backdoor communism? Because if it is, if you see your kid doing TCM, fucking just maybe give him a smack on the back of the head. Be like, hey, we got Western medicine over here. It might not be perfect. And yes, sure, sometimes pharmaceutical companies can take have taken it far, and maybe there needs to be some repercussions, but to go ahead and just say, I'm gonna start experimenting with TCM. Next thing you know, you start reading little books. Next thing you know, you start wearing, flip-flops. Next thing you know, you're starting to work in a sweatshop. Next thing you know, you're investing to buy your own sweatshop. Next thing you know, your products are knockoffs of Western products with cheaper, way less quality, but nobody cares because the prices are kind of better. And you don't seem to care, do you, fella? And you're just 21 and experimenting with TCM. One day drinking ginseng and shoving a, tree branch up your ass, and you're like, I'm gonna stick needles on my face and do a little bit of, just fucking get a massage with a couple of Siamese cats on my back, just clawing on my back. I'm gonna get that. So I'm experimenting with TCM, you'll say. Nothing to worry about here, mom and dad. Next thing you know, you're in the fucking Communist Party, son of a bitch. So be careful if you're experimenting with TCM. It could lead down a very, very dark road, or it could just be, a few things you pick up in addition that you could add to your overall, health and, well-being tool belt. That tool belt, if you want to add to it, I've got no problem with it. I'm just saying, be careful a little bit. All of a sudden you start saying individualism doesn't even matter. I've been practicing TCM. Fuck the individual. Community always rules. Next thing you know, everybody's just, making the same amount of bucks. Nobody's getting ahead. We don't have that one outlier that we can all look up to and be like, oh, he did it, or she did it. Next thing you know, everybody's dressing the same, everybody's got the same haircut, everybody's saying the same points, everybody's just sipping the same old soup every single day. And sure, soup's fine here and there. A little bit of sushi never hurt anyone, but at the end of the day, we're goddamn red-blooded Americans. Fucking A. Eat some steak. Try a couple of needles up your ass that'll give you a little bit of that extra testosterone. Go lift a couple of weights, shoot a shotgun. Get a shotgun, and get 2 shotguns. Toss the shotgun in the air and shoot the shotgun with the shotgun in your hand. Get a bird, but not just any bird. Get an eagle. Ride the eagle. Say no to TCM if it leads you to communism. If you're, overall, neutral and well-balanced, then maybe dabble, but also be careful. But also, maybe it's just time to say goodbye to TCM and just bring in the trucks. When I get a truck, get an ATV, goddammit. Get a fucking ATV and start, chewing on some sausage. You know what I'm talking about. Talking about bad advertising. This is McDonald's CEO eating a burger, which recently went viral a few days ago. I believe the Burger King president also made his own video, saying, let's just break it down. What even happened? McDonald's CEO gets on camera, attempts to eat a burger. I've never seen something more heinous. Don't ever do that again to a burger, please. It's one of the most delicious foods on planet Earth. Don't ever do that to the burger, or any burger for that matter. But this is sometimes, people, this is an opportunity for everybody. Really, we could partner up. And I eat McDonald's on a regular basis. Big fan, It's not the most healthy food. I think we all know that. It's 2026, but nonetheless, not the worst thing out there either. Certainly not. There's definitely standards and practices, and we like those things. Having said that, the CEO of McDonald's attempted to eat the burger. I don't even think this guy's had a burger in his life. This seemed like, this was like telling a, straight up, what do you call those gays that have never had straight sex? Golden boys, golden ponies? I don't know what the term is, but there's a certain type of gay that has never had, their first experience of sex wasn't even like with a chick. It was, or with if they were a female, it wasn't with a guy. It was, they straight up went into the same sex, and they had that sort of sex. And I forget the, golden anus rule, the golden rule of the anus. What is it? Golden pony? I forget what they're called. Top ponies? Golden pony? Right? I forget what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. And it's like telling them to, go eat puss for the first time. This is what it was like. The analogy I'm trying to draw here is that it appeared to me that this CEO has never had a burger in his life, and you gave him a burger and you told him eat the burger. It seemed to me like somebody had been chewing cock all their life, and now you're like, go eat this puss and tell me how delicious it is. It just seemed like, it's a goddamn shame. It is a goddamn shame. He took one tiny little bite, and that again is like, here's, you got this beautiful puss, eat it and tell us how good it is. And he just went like, with his, just just a little lick like that, and it's like, oh, I love puss. That's the way it came across. So this is what I'm willing to do. And then you had the Burger King guy, the Burger King president, came and ate his burger slightly bigger, which I like. But then he's like, the only thing missing from this burger is a napkin. Both of you, I'll say this is a time and opportunity, or any other burger chain really, because I'm loose with it. I'm loose with it wherever you get it. Wherever you fit in, wherever you get in, you fit. Wherever you fit in, you get in where you fit in. There it is. Your burger commercials need an update. All right, the whole era of and the whole king thing. You need a guy. You need this guy to eat your burger. All right, I'm talking about me eating the burger in a sloppy fashion, just fucking smearing it all over my face. Let's do this together. I don't have a burger, but I want you to use your imagination. Burger at hand. This guy in a car, drop top, eating a burger. Maybe eating 2 burgers at the same time. I'm eating 2 burgers at the same time, McDonald's, and you got a flock of seagulls just fucking flying by, trying to come down and grab I'm eating the burger, I'm shoving fries in my mouth, and the seagulls are swarming in, I'm like slapping the seagulls away, and next thing you know, fucking hotties, of age hotties, rollerblading, circling the car, and they're kind of starting to act like the seagulls too. They're like, oh, let me grab your hot sandwich there, and I'm in the car, I'm like, hey, bitches, there's only one thing that I love more than puss, and that's puss with burgers. So why don't you all hop in the car so we can, and then I grab extra bags of burgers from inside the car, and I'm like, I got burgers for days, bitches. And these bitches are like, oh, we like to get these burgers off you, daddy. And they come and they put the burgers between their tits, and they're like, here, eat the burgers from the middle of my tits. Eat it. And I go and I give it a nice little motorboat, right? And I eat the burger from her tits, and I'm like, oh, McDonald's, we were gonna go fuck. So take this as an opportunity to advertise your products in a way better way. It's 2026. I don't need some guy with zero energy coming in there taking a tiny bite, or some guy who's a president. I'm sorry, it's too old. It's been done. Nobody cares. Oh, I think we need an extra napkin. You need this guy in a car, bitches, bouncing up and down, eating burgers, making the biggest mess. Napkins, you're gonna need the fire department to come in there with their hose and wash this down. That's how messy these burgers are. Prices, the lowest. The burgers, the thickest. The Slurpees, the juiciest. The tits, all around. That's what I'm talking about. Fireworks, guns, cheetahs in the background, and eating burgers and having sex with no condoms. Maybe we bring the condoms, but like low-key, we just open them and burn the rubber just for fun, just because we're like that, So that's the kind of advertising that you need. Again, hashtag McDonald's, hashtag Burger King. If you'd like to sponsor this podcast and have your boy be the face of McDonald's for the next 10 years, I'm talking $150 million deal. Willing to negotiate on those numbers. Nonetheless, you know where to call. DM me, you don't need to call. DM if you like. But nonetheless, the offer is there. Take it, or think about it and then later take it. But nonetheless, take it. Adams County deputies versus Afro Man. The court is in sesh, ladies and gents. I don't know what happened with Afro Man, but I just saw him recently, and it's hashtag free Afro Man, another person that needs better representation. I believe his house was raided by the deputies of Adams County. I don't know what the case was about, but they raided his homes. I don't know what they found. I don't know what they were looking for, but nonetheless, nothing came to fruition. Now, he caught the deputies, he caught the police officers in his home on camera. Later on, he used the images found on his camera in a music video, if I'm not mistaken, of his. And now the Adams County Deputy Department, Sheriff's Department, Police Department, not quite sure. Nonetheless, law enforcement from Adams County, they're suing Afro Man. And I said to myself, man, this is the guy that brought us all music in the 90s, the type that fucking sticks in an earworm. Because I got high, that song. I was gonna go do this, but I didn't because I got high. I was gonna also do the other thing, but I didn't get to it because I was high. I was gonna, do some other things after that. Didn't do it, but why? Because I got high. That one. The lyrics just fucking right there, earworm. The point is, I saw this. I'm like, let's not make a big thing out of this. This isn't one of those cases where let's just all keep calm, cool, and collected. All right. We love the police. We also love Afro Man. Hashtag drop the lawsuit. Hashtag free Afro Man. Let's not get, there's so many things to be concerned about. Afro Man is not your concern, and neither is the Adams County Deputy Department, Sheriff Department, Police Department. All right. Boys, drop the lawsuit. So what? You ended up in a video. It's a nice video, I'm sure. It's a beautiful video. You're part of musical history now. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Sure. Maybe you would have liked to not have your faces revealed in the video. I didn't even check out the video myself. I'm not even sure if your faces are revealed entirely in the video. Hashtag to future people. If you're watching this, you happen to catch yourself in an instance when you're interacting with cops. At the end of the day, nothing goes wrong, nothing goes right. It's just somewhere in the middle. People needed to do their job. You were there, but now you have images of cops. Maybe don't put their faces in the videos. Hashtag future people, just because maybe you want to maintain some sort of, maybe they're worried about their safety and also privacy and whatnot, because they're cops. So, they're law enforcement. Maybe they want to keep their faces not on social media or what. I'm not quite sure how that goes. But then again, I don't know how these laws work, to be honest with you. You were in his house. All I'm saying is don't sue the man, drop the lawsuit. Also, let's take this as a learning experience. Let us come together, make more videos. It's okay, to be honest with you. Why don't we do this? Blur their faces. If they, could you blur the Afro Man? Could you blur their face? Is it too late? It's too late now, isn't it? I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. Again, one of the main pillars of this podcast, me not being sure about many things, but going about my day nonetheless. To future folks who want to make videos potentially with, law enforcement, especially if they're like, fucking, these are like, I'm not, no disrespect to nobody, but these guys aren't like fucking, they're not fucking Delta Force or anything. So like, average day cops, you'd probably be so many people with cameras, you'd probably end up on some video at one point or another. So that's a concern, but that's a concern for all of us. And if it's, it's either privacy for all or for none. And I think I think we shot privacy in the nads a long time ago. So that being said, just want everybody to get along. Let's just drop the lawsuit, no harm, no foul. I think they may allegedly have taken some money from his residence, maybe a little bit of foul, but these are things I hear and read. I'm not even sure if the money was missing, went to the cops or whatever, but let's just be bygones. Let's not bring any heterosexual guns or any gay guns. Let's just leave bygones be bygones. And if they want to be bisexual guns, then that's the way they roll. No one's ever talked about heterosexual guns or gay guns, but I say if it needs to be one of those occasions where it's just bygones being bygones and water under the bridge, then let it be. As opposed to water being over the bridge, which would be freaky, which would be terrifying. If it was a bridge and typically you'd have water underneath it and now you're going and it's just water on top, you'd be hoping you're either on some shrooms or other forms of hallucinogenics, or you're having a mental breakdown, and that could be, it's fine, honestly. If you recover after, you could tell people about it, or paint a little painting, make a movie with the water being on top of the bridge, and this time the water was under the bridge, but now it's on top. Make it about that one time that the water was over the bridge. This bridge is a freak of nature. It's got water on top of it. It's leaking from the top. Flip the bridge then. Flip the bridge. Of course, these times are, you're like, Rob, what's going on in and around the world? There's a lot of things are going on in and around the world, but you don't need to worry your pretty little face about it. I'll tell you that. One of the stories we're no longer going to be concerned about, because we got to move along. We got at times that's wrapped up. It is wrapping up. I don't know, or it's probably going to remain one of those cases of who's done it cases. One of those long-lasting whodunit cases, like the JFK whodunit cases, or the MLK whodunit cases, or many other instances where like whodunit, but like 50 years passes by and we're still like, I think we know who done it. Maybe it was a whole bunch of people who done it, but nonetheless, what have we been talking about? That's right. Or you're like, what's going on? What happened to the depositions, the Clintons and Bill Gates and this, that, and the other? I'm glad you asked, because I'll tell you this, I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to see this shit anymore. It is disgusting. I saw Bill Clinton's deposition, a few clips of it. Just disgusting. The handshaking. Oh, Horrible. I don't know what's more disgusting. The alleged pedophilia, the alleged child molestation, or the fucking handshaking. Gross. Get it off the TV. I never want to see another man shaking in his elder years, ever, on TV. Get it off the camera. No one wants to see that on camera. What made you think this is, must-see TV? His hands are shaking, grabbing the cup, shaking, and I'm supposed to sit there and look at this shaky, disgusting, gross, shaky hand. Made me want to throw up. I did. I vomited. I hope you're happy for showing us a man in a deposition that went nowhere, but also shaking. Hands, this is the grossest thing. I don't ever want to see it. No one wants to see it. You've hurt children and young adolescents with this shit. Get it off the TV now. Don't ever bring another person with a shaky hand, especially if they're elderly. If they're younger, maybe I could let it go. But elderly, shaky hands, disgusting, gross, hedonistic. Need I say more? Shut it down. No more. No more. Shut it down. It's over, and we got bigger things right now. Bigger things right now. Global conflict. Coincidence? Who knows? Great timing? Also, who knows? Who done it? I think it's clear as day that, if you are going to do it, bring extra lube. If you're going to do it, it's better to have it and not need and not have it. So close it, shut it down, keep it open. Who done it? You know who done it, who not done it. But the point is, don't ever bring shaky hands on cameras. 2026, we know better. It's not like this is the first time we're experimenting with TV. Don't ever bring a shaky hand on camera again, all right? Fucking A. DHS, Department of Homeland Security. Department of Homeland Security. That's the Department of Homeland Security. It's like any other department. Like, you go, like, there's men's healthcare department. There's, female vaginal care department. You got weird rashes that pop up on your, genital area department. That department. We got, erectile dysfunction department. You got like loose stool department. There's you go to get medicine for your loose stool. There's a department for that. Probably all falls under healthcare or just medicine at Walmart or whatever. It doesn't matter. There's different departments. That's there's the men's department, there's the women's department, and then there's the DHS, Department of Homeland Security. Who's in charge of it? Just recently found out, because I got to keep tabs on a lot of things. I'm learning. So I'm learning. This bitch was placed in charge of DHS. What's her name? Christy Gnome. She's a gnome. She's a gnome. Christy Gnome. She just got fired. You're fired. You're fired. Finish her. No, fired. She's fired. You just got let go. That's not entirely true. She got let go, but she's got another position. She's got another job. Now she's got another job. I forget the name of the new job. Doesn't matter. It's one of those new jobs that's got a new title. It doesn't even matter. But she got a new job. But why did she get fired? Because I wanted to know. I'm like, why does this bitch get fired? Because I looked at her. I'm like, clearly, she looks hot. I'd keep her in there. But also at the same rate, many things to discuss about this situation. Christy, no, fired. I looked into it briefly for a second. She may or may not have had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski. Then I'm like, who the fuck is Corey Lewandowski? Does that even matter? She brought this guy in and made him the chief of staff of the operations at DHS, something along those lines. So basically, he kind of assisted in doing her job. One of her jobs was to, I guess, wrangle in the immigrants, the illegal ones. One of those things was because it's, again, Homeland Security. You're dealing with people who are inside and people who are trying to come in illegally. And I think for the most part, she did a fine job. I don't think Trump had any issues with her. One of the key concerns was, because I was watching a little bit of she was in another hearing. She was being questioned as to why she spent, I think, $200 million on an ad campaign featuring her on a horseback. And to that, again, I guess we can go back to the underlying theme of today's show. It's just better advertising, better PR, better commercials. If I could take a stab at this, I saw just the image. I didn't even watch the full ad because I'm just like, first of all, I looked at her. That's many things to be said. You're on the wrong role. Too pretty to be involved in politics. Any beautiful bitches out there, really. Politics is just, don't think that you got to get in politics and become a politician, and politics is disgusting. Less of it, the better the world would be. Honestly, really, I think we can all. So if you're beautiful and somewhat, you know, overall, you could do more. You could do more. She should be in a TV show. She should be in a TV. I saw the image of her on horseback, and I'm like, this bitch could have been on some sort of Western. She could have been some sort of Western, some sort of like, Western / cowboy / ranch lifestyle, period piece or modern style cowboy. You get a spin-off of Yellowstone, or what was it, Yellowknife? Yellowstone. No, Yellowknife is Yellowstone. Was it Yellowstone? Doesn't matter. The point is that she could have been on TV, doing way more entertainment with her looks and appearances instead of this, nonsense and politics. So she needs to, just food for thought, explore other realms of, work and occupation. Otherwise, if you want to stick with politics, that's fine, I suppose. But for $200 million, if it's just her, one shot on a horseback, I could have done, again, I'm not saying I'm an expert in anything, but I think I could have done a way better job for probably, a fraction of the cost. Because if I had $200 million and I were to shoot an ad, one ad, or multiple ads, you would get way more. Again, same thing with the same thing. It's a matter of poor commercials, shitty commercials, really, for products that should be way, it's baffling to me. You got great products. The burger itself is a great product. In your homeland security, you're supposed to wrangle in illegal immigrants. You got $200 million. Bring in real illegals. They're not even that expensive. You could buy for $200 million. For $10,000, you could probably buy a couple of illegals, feature them in the ad campaign, right? Make a TV show about catching illegals. For $200 million, you could make a TV show probably for like 3 seasons, just catching and releasing illegals back to wherever they came from, or just fucking around with them. Catch one episode of just catching them, releasing them, going back and assisting to make it all the way back, catching them again, releasing them one more time, but in a different place. On horseback, but topless. Guns, way more guns. Shooting it up. Large cowboy hats, fucking giant ass cowboy hats. $200 million, you got like a regular cowboy hat? I don't think so. Chaps, assless chaps, leather assless chaps on the horses. You thought I was gonna be wearing them. I will be, but the horses will be too, just cause we got what? $200 million, all right? Another episode comes and shoots the illegal, but the illegal has gotten somebody pregnant. Now you're gonna have to find that baby, raise the baby grows up. You're gonna have to tell them the truth. And the truth is that baby loves you because you took him in and their father was illegal. So that's another episode. So many ways this story could have gone with $200 million. Moral of the story, better use of money, better ad campaigns. Work on your public relations because it's all about image and how things are perceived. So sell the product better, please, with all the money we're spending, at least with all the money. Again, this podcast could be sponsored by the DHS or McDonald's or Burger King or all of the above. All of the above. You could all be using my services, but take your time. Whatever, no big deal. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a great example. What's one of the product? What's one product, one object that we all love that just everybody takes it for granted. Everybody takes it for like whatever. It is what it is. Hymen. I knew you were thinking it, and I'm glad you said it. Hymen. It's one of the best things out there. Hymen. Could eat me some hymen for breakfast, lunch, and din. What could I get you for your birthday? Some hymen, nothing big or expensive, just some hymen. Oh, why don't we take this new hymen for a spin around the block? Why not? Let's do it. But I'm talking about a product and an object that's not got any sort of PR. Because some people say that it does sell itself, and I do agree. But nonetheless, I would like to start, if we could get together, raise some money, some sort of a theme park. I'm thinking naming it Hymenland. Or Hymenville. Welcome to Hymenville. And it's just everything is hymen themed and puss themed. The rides, giant pusses that you get to sit on, buckle up, ride. It's a roller coaster. It's a theme park, but all around Hymen. Or it could be a festival too, Hymen Fest. Welcome to Hymen Palooza. And it's just celebrating hymens. But again, it does need a little bit of campaigning. It does need a little bit of, funding to get it up and going, but it's one of those strong products that has been here from, the dawn of time probably. And we're not doing our part to get it out there to the public. So just think about it. If you want to attend, leave a comment. Again, it's Hymen Palooza. Bring your own hymen, but also there's going to be plenty of hymen for you to enjoy there at the show. All right? You're welcome out there. And I give back. I give back to the public, to the people out there. It doesn't matter whether you're poor, you're rich, middle class, higher class, lower class, no class, all the class, upper echelon, mid echelon, lower echelon, no echelon, too much echelon, no echelon to be seen. Fancy pants, fancy legs, fancy dress, fancy shirt, lack of fancy, no fancy, way less fancy. We're not even into fancy, just everyday, modern, humble, 9 to 5, working class, blue collar class, white collar class, red collar class, this, that, and the other. Point being is that I like to help people. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're Aborigines, you're brown, you're yellow, you're green, you're purple, you're pink. Point is, doesn't matter. That's the point. The point is that I heard something in a clip. It's regarding the Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf. He was in an interview with an interviewer in a show, in a news show. Some of you may be familiar with Channel 5 News. I didn't see the whole thing, but he was being interviewed. What's that fellow's name? The fellow who runs the channel for Andrew Callahan. That's the guy. I didn't catch the whole thing, but I caught a clip of it. And there's a clip of Shia LaBeouf saying to Andrew that large gays is what he fears. He fears large gays. He said in the clip, I haven't seen the whole thing, but he said that. He fears large gays. And here I am, trying to be of assistance. This is not just about Shia either. This is just to anybody who out there might, if you're out there, if you have a fear of the large gays, let's tag, because he put it out there. And it's not, if somebody puts something out there, it typically means other people might be thinking it too. So, Shia LaBeouf, afraid of the large gays. First of all, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Just because Shia LaBeouf is Shia LaBeouf doesn't mean that he wants to just because his last name is Buff doesn't mean that you as a large gay get to you're like, oh, Buff, I'm a large gay. You'll say that to yourself. I'm a large. This guy's last name is Buff. He must love me. He must love me. Let me go. Touch his leg or whatever. Because clearly, he's Shia LaBeouf. He's big. I'm big. He's big. Maybe he's not gay. Maybe I'll try to turn him, is what you'll say to yourself. But guess what? He's not into that. All right. And again, I know what you're thinking. You're like, Shia LaBeouf sounds a little bit too close. You're sick. You're sick. All right. If you think Buff sounds too close to Boof, he's not into that shit. He's not. It's Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf. All right. So he's not into big gays. But again, this key thing I'm learning, he's not into big gays. He's afraid of large gays. That's what you need to remember. I've learned this myself. In order to fight our fears, we must face it. Is what I told I said, if Shila's afraid of large gays, there must be others who are terrified of large gays, big gays. That's what you do. If you're afraid of a snake, maybe you don't go fight the largest snake or grab the largest snake. I don't know. Personally, I don't know. Again, going back to earlier moments in the show, I don't even care for snakes. But if I had a fear of snakes, which I don't, but if I did, I'm not gonna go grab the largest. I'm not gonna go grab an anaconda from the jungles and the Amazon. I'm not gonna go grab. I'm not gonna go find some tribesmen and women who are about to have a ritual with a giant anaconda and they're just like naked. I'm not gonna go in there and be like, yeah, let me grab this giant anaconda. I'll let them be. I'll let them be with their giant anacondas. But what I will do if I had that fear of snakes, snakeophobia, the technical scientific name. If I had that fear, I'd grab a little tiny snake. I'd find it. I'd grab that little tiny snake. I'd grab him with my hand and I stare at it. I'd be like, you can't hurt me, tiny snake. you can't hurt me. And I let it slither all over my body little by little. And then I push it off. And then for like 5 minutes, I let it like climb all the way up my arm, maybe go up my neck a little bit, getting close to my nostrils. Maybe goes in one nostril, comes out the other, and I pull it out and I toss it away, just little by little, 5 minutes a day. And I work my way up to slightly larger snakes. Then I get like 2 garden snakes, 2 tiny garden snakes. I can still handle that. Still fearful of these hypothetical large snakes, which I'm not afraid of. But hypothetically speaking, if I had that fear, 2 tiny grass-fed snakes, little, like vegan snakes, like, fangless vegan snakes, dancing snakes, the ones that go, the ones that do part-time dancing in India. There's a guy who plays the flute. These guys are in a band with that guy. They're performers. I know they're not aggro. Tiny snakes, garden snakes / performer snakes. I grab these snakes, let them crawl on my body little by little, 5-10 minutes each day. Next thing you know, I'm working my way up to bigger and bigger snakes. And I've already lost track of this because now I'm not fearful of snakes at all. I'm letting bigger and bigger snakes crawl on top of me. I'm doing all sorts of things with snakes. Fucking, spinning over my head. Just kind of grabbing it and like, wiping my ass. When I'm going to the bathroom, I wipe my ass with a giant snake, just trying to get everything off my asshole after I take a dump. I use a snake to wipe my ass. That's what I do with the snake. The point is that you tackle your fear. So what you need to do, if you're out there and you're like, man, Shia LaBeouf said something that I feel within myself. I too, you might say that to yourself. I have a fear of large gays. Well, guess what he didn't say? He doesn't have any fear, or he's not afraid of average sized gays. He does not have a fear of smaller gays. Take that to the bank. Guess who he's not afraid of? Shia LaBeouf is probably not afraid of a gay midget. That's where you need to start. All right? That's where people need to start. If you've got a friend who's afraid of large gays, hire a gay midget. Toss the gay midget on their lap for an afternoon or 2. Let him spend some time in a cage. Put him in a room, lock the door for like 2 days. Next thing you know, your friend is coming and facing his fear of large gays, but starting at a small scale with a gay midget. And maybe this gay midget too wants to, suck your friend off. But guess what? At least it's tiny. It won't be so. At least your friend has a better chance of fending him off. Just get off. Or maybe he'll come around. Who knows? Or maybe she'll come around, because it could be lesbians. It could be a female who's afraid of giant lesbian dykes. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you had a fear of giant lesbian. Start with a smaller lesbian, or a lesbian your own size. Small ones are better. Get a midget lesbian, hang out with them. Let them play sports with them. Frisbee. Toss the old frisbee. Watch the little midget lesbian fucking go up in the air, jump, and grab it with her teeth, and then return the frisbee to you. They're fast, they're quick, these tiny little midget lesbians. They're quick. They're like fucking Oompa Loompas, but they're real. And they do exist. So the moral of the story, face your fear. It's a great actor. Somebody I grew up watching. And so many movies, even Stevens, Holes. That movie, was it Fury with Brad Pitt and other people? It's a great star. Great movie star. Great fucking talented guy. So I say, you've got this, just like you've got many other things going on in your life. Face your fears. Don't let them hold you down. And eventually, next thing you know, 2 years have gone by, you're fucking sumo wrestling this Japanese giant sumo guy who happens to be gay too. And there's like fucking no fear, 0 fear. You're letting him sit on your face. And it's not just Shia either. This is to people out there. If you're afraid of giant gays, start small. Don't get yourself. I said 2 years. It could take you 5 years, but at the end of the day, it's little by little each day. Next thing you know, you're in Japan. A whole, it's a sumo house filled with guys that are like 500-600 pounds, and you're like, man, I can't wait till these guys sit on my face with their giant Japanese asses. And then some of them may be gay, but I don't care. You'll say that. You're welcome. Facing your fears. Nothing to it. We did it together, really. This is a team effort. So face those fears. That's the moral of the story. James Tallarico just recently won the Democratic Senate primary in Texas. That's a mouthful. He won, and congratulations. It's nice to get, despite the fact that I don't like politics, but I suppose some people, the young people need to get in there. He's quite young, like many other, I guess you need some young blood in there. You need some young blood, but also I hope that the younger generations who do get involved in politics, maintain some level of your, I don't even know what to call purity, innocence, some sort, just don't turn evil if you go into politics. Please, for the love of God, please don't turn evil. Other than that, he did say one thing that was, again, I don't know much of his, positions on many things, but one thing he did say, which was, I believe he said he wants to give abortion care to the tranny community. He said that. He seems like a smart guy. He seems like an intelligent young man. But he said this phrase, and I think he's a man of, I think he's a man of faith as well, which doesn't matter. The point is that, but he did say that. He said, let's give the tranny community, let's give our tranny communities abortions, which again is one of those things that just needs better advertising, much like the Diddy Loop situation, or much like the burgers and the whole like eating it in a way more tasteful fashion, or just anything else, or whether it's Misty Roberts, again, the products, people, places, services that just need better advertising. And again, I know this is not on this may seem a little bit, well, let's just get into it, fellas. Let me just come out and straight up just say it. How many times, fellas, have you been out there, my guy, doggy, it's just us now. It's just us, just the fellas for this brief moment. How many times have you said to yourself, my God, I need some access to some abortion care right now for myself? Oh, exactly. Countless times, many times, throughout humanity, from the time that it all started. Millions of men have just been saying, my God, when am I gonna get my access to my abortion care? Because I'm gonna need it immediately, like right now. I needed it yesterday, but it's so difficult to get abortion care. As a man, how many times have we shed tears in silence, felt lonely, felt like there's no help, no assistance, no sign of the cavalry? It's just you and your baby. And yeah, that's right. How many times have you had to look at yourself? You're like, how am I gonna get rid of this baby in my male body? Oh, the lack of abortion care is for dudes. And finally, someone heard your voices out there. It's James Talrico. Despite the fact he's young, he's got a whole career out of himself, but he's tackling the important issues right now. And this is what we need. This is what we need. The motherfucking males getting their abortion care. God damn it. I caught myself a few times in a lifetime, maybe catching myself saying, I'm gonna need some abortion care right now. I'm gonna need some, abort this baby. And there was nothing available, but now the trans community, the trannies, the dudes essentially, the dudes will now get their abortion because it's important we give that, because again, it's not the matter of fact that you're gonna need it and you're not gonna have it. It's a matter of fact of having it and not needing it. That's the important thing. It's a matter of fact that you're gonna hope you're gonna not need it, but have it. But man, if it comes at a time where you're like, man, I need this abortion care like right now, guess what? There's no abortion care. You're gonna be like, man, I wish we had somebody that would stand up and finally say yes to abortion care for males and the tranny community. Because you know how men and trans guys, tranny, just again, straight up just dudes and female, you know how they get pregnant all the time. Look at all your family members, the male family members. Look at yourself. How many times have you had to abort a baby and never had the proper care? But this guy, it's again standing up for what is right. And again, this is a product that has had bad PR, because again, it's just the silent majority of men who have had babies who they've had to keep because of a lack of abortion. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Get out of here.